Good morning, folks. I'm jWesley, welcoming you to our Joe and Lizzy podcast. And basically, what we're all about, folks, she's coming to focus very shortly. You have a bright light behind you that might make you a little bit dark.
I know. I'm trying to. Oh, there we go. That might be a little better.
Fantastic. As you see, folks, we're very spontaneous on this. We don't rehearse this. We don't practice this. But what we do is we're very sincere about what we're providing. For those who are new to us, thank you for joining us. For those who are coming back, thank you for coming back even more so. Our purpose here in life, folks, is Lizzy is recognized in her industry as being an expert in wellness, in healthiness, and she has quite a following that goes along with her notoriety in her industry. And I get that intellectually, but I'm a left brain kind of guy, and I don't get this yin and yang stuff. So what draws me to her to some degree is she talks about, besides being healthy, I get that. She talks about being successful. I get that. So I'm saying, well, maybe there's something to this stuff, but I'm not buying into it readily. So I'm here to help resolve my confusion. By the way, folks, please remember to look at us, if not at 8 o'clock in the morning, any time of the day on the reruns. We do audit through Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. LinkedIn says they're having some trouble about comments, but if you sign in and we can get those comments, we do audit, we'll get back to you. Remember to share us with your friends and with people. Remember to subscribe. What we do, we talk about things that are common day concerns of people. And Lizzy is describing how her mindfulness approach to it will help you become better because of it and the people around you also. I get the concept. I'm just not clear how we get to that point. So I bring up questions that, what is this all about? What we are doing now also, we're having what we call micro series. So the current series is setting boundaries for ourselves. And Lizzy tells me that's one of her favorite subjects. Not favorite so much as most concerning to her, most important to her perhaps. Use of wording, I guess.
So most difficult for so many people. So difficult, I think, for a lot of people.
I get that. So today's subject is yellow alerts. Now, we can talk about yellow alerts like a yellow flashing light on the intersection. The two types of people, I'm convinced. Those that will slow down, maybe proceed with caution, and those that will speed up before it changes to red. And so before I get into that, something even more important, I want to wish Lizzy a very happy birthday. Fantastic. So you're 26 now, yes?
I am again.
Okay, sounds good to me. I wish you many, many more happy ones, many more healthy ones. By the way, folks, hollering on a happy birthday also to Lizzy. This is...
I will not let my birthday be a yellow alert. I will plow right through it.
Okay, sounds good. Well, happy birthday again. But that being said, what we're talking about here is the concept that the issue of yellow alerts, is it something you speed up or something you show down or something you slow down on? Now, I'll give you an example. Back in the day before I was very happily married, I was actually dating. I had a dating life. And there was a girl that when I would leave her in the evening, she would say, call me when you get home because I want to make sure you got home safely. Now, I think anybody would say, that's a reasonable concern of my well-being. Quite frankly, as a guy, as a left-brain guy, if I don't call you, what are you going to do for me? But she's concerned if I'm going to respond, fine. I get that. However, I never, ever, ever called her. When I got home, she would then call me, well, how long have you been home for? Now we're having discussion. She's upset. Again, many people would say, that's understandable. She's concerned. I don't respond to her concern. Am I really committing to the relationship? Now, with all that being said, here's the punchline, folks. At one point, several months into the relationship, she said to me, Joe, why is our relationship not so healthy as it used to be, going so well? And I said, well, because I said, what do you mean? She said, because you're not calling me anymore when you get home, so you're treating me differently. What's the matter? two things clicked in my head. First off, I told her I've never called you at all, so this has never been an issue. If anything, we've had discussion on it ongoing. Secondly, she's trying to control me. That was my second thought. That somehow I'm going to feel guilty because of the nuanced difference of my behavior that I need to defend. Am I being paranoid? Am I being mindful? So anyway, that's my blurb for the moment. So I'm going to ask Lizzy to let's run with that, see where it goes.
I mean, I think it's reasonable. I do that all the time with my friends whenever they leave, or especially if someone's going home by themselves. I would say, just text me when you get home.
My wife does the same thing.
Everything else, just come home, and I think that's a beautiful, caring thing to do. I don't think that's anything that is unreasonable. And if the person forgets and I fall asleep in the morning, I wake up and I'm like, I hope you got home, right? So I don't see that as a yellow alert.
Well, my question here to say it again from a different angle. When somebody says that we'll go guy to girl or to woman, that if the guy says, I like how you wear your hair, I prefer you wear the sweater and not the blouse to the evening we're going out. These are human things. These are things of concern, of rapport, of dialogue, of sharing what you want. If it goes the other direction, that I think the natural thing would be to accommodate because you want to please. On the other hand, is that once he starts saying the dating thing, I want to pick up your clothes for you from the dry cleaners. I want to drive you to work. I want to choose your shoes for you. Is he being gentlemanly or is he being controlling? And right. that's the point I'm making here.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to go back to the first example, and then I'll go to this one.
Sure.
But, I think with the first example, I think that your girlfriend was actually she was actually doing something that she was facing the yellow alert, that she was wondering what's going on with the relationship, and she actually was putting herself in an uncomfortable place by addressing it with you.
But I'm going to interrupt. But she accused me. Why did I stop calling her when I got home? I never did. That's the point. 100%. I never did.
Okay, so if it was received in an accusatory way, that's where you're tuning into what did it feel like to you? Did it? With yellow alerts, it's like, do you get that gut feeling, that sinking feeling in your stomach, or you just feel a little like things don't feel right. That's when you want to address it and say, what's going on here? What's the
But here's the crux. Here's the crux of it. Am I being mindful to say she's working a game plan on me? Or am I being paranoid about, oh my God, I don't know how to give back to people? And that's my challenge
I think the only way to find that out is to, again, have that uncomfortable conversation with her and communicate it. And that's what people don't do. That's what people pretend not to know, and they pretend not to see it, and they procrastinate on actually having those difficult conversations.
Point well made.
And I think that what I try to tell people, and I know for myself, it's like, when you believe in yourself, and that comes from having the self-confidence to risk having those conversations and then seeing that you actually survive through them. That's kind of where your belief in yourself grows, and that's my challenge to people, is to have, put yourself in those positions, and you end up seeing that you're stronger than you thought you were on the other side. And ignoring them and, it's pretending that they're not happening. It just makes those problems bigger and bigger and bigger. They don't usually go away. And I think what successful people do is they address them right when they start to see that yellow alert. They don't wait until it's blaring red. They deal with it. And so, that's what I would just kind of challenge our audience today, is to just, think about what are the yellow alerts that you're seeing in your life. I mean, for one, I know for myself and for some of my friends going through this whole pandemic, and, our clothes might be getting a little tighter, and we, instead of dealing with it, we just put on our yoga pants another day. And one of my, I think it was my sister, sent me this funny Twitter thing. It was like, my going out clothes missed me so much. They're hugging me so much tighter now when I'm trying to go, but I'm getting back out in the world. And so again, it's like, what do we do? We say, we'll start eating healthier next week, next year, after the Super Bowl, after this holiday. And so avoiding these things does not end up with the outcomes that we want for ourselves, So
I'm going to make a point. Interesting. This is our 65th podcast.
Not my age, though, people.
Okay, absolutely not. This is the third or fourth time I've acknowledged she's making a point that makes sense to me. And so to put a different, now don't get used to it, folks, and don't get carried away. And I'm not yet a lost soul. Maybe that's my yellow flag here or not. But bless you, bless you. See,
Okay.
I even got her emotionally. See how impactful my statements work sometimes.
Oh, wait a minute. Just 1 second, Joe.
Sure. Well, I'll start rambling while you're doing what you're doing. Basically, here, folks, what happens is that we talk about that yellow alert sign, and this really was a point made by Lizzy. And again, do you speed up or do you proceed with caution? And so when somebody's complimenting you, it doesn't mean you should be paranoid like, what, right off the bat. I'll put this in a different perspective. I went to a social function as a teenager. It wasn't the best neighborhood. And toward the end of it, there was a big table. There were some girls sitting, some guys sitting. There were two girls on my left. We had some casual conversation. Well, at the end of the event, and this was a type thing, you put your coat in the back of your chair. There was no check-in place. And that's what we did. So she stood up, and I put my jacket on already. It was winter outside. So I turned to picked up her coat to hold it for her to put her coat on. She says, what are you doing with my coat? You trying to steal my coat? Because her sense of concern, her world was different than my attitude. So there can be misconnection on that easily. But certainly as you talk about yellow flashing lights, that maybe it is proceed with caution. Is the guy or the girl being totally complimentary? Do they want to be totally helpful by picking you up, taking you home, dialing the phone for you, spoon feeding you, or they're trying to control you? And they're right, there is no way of knowing in advance. But at some point, as Lizzy just said, begin to question, hey, I love how you like my hairstyle, but I prefer to wear it this way sometimes also. And maybe there's strong comment about that, then maybe there's cause for further discussion. That's kind of what you're saying, the mindfulness part?
I think, again, miscommunications happen all the time because of the stories that we tell ourselves. But, I think it's really about tuning into your own inner wisdom. And are you getting a bad vibe from that person? Are you getting a bad vibe from what they said or what their actions were? And if
I'm going to interrupt, though. I'm going to interrupt with a question. I'm going to interrupt. Not so much, to me, all you're getting is to be kind of passive. Maybe this is a male thing. I like to be proactive. That every now and then I want to requalify. And it's easy to slide the path. I'm getting good compliments, but every now and then maybe I would rather wear these other shoes. I'd rather wear my other tie. And it's, first off, you have your opinion. You're entitled to that. I have my opinion. But at some point, if I think I'm becoming uncomfortable about expressing my viewpoint of how I want to wear my hair, what style of dress I want to put on or cologne I wear, maybe there's an issue there.
Yeah,
of yellow flag.
I think there maybe is an issue. So yeah, again, it's about like really seeing what you're feeling in that situation. Are you feeling uncomfortable? Are you feeling like not good about what this person is saying? Having that sometimes it is an unexplainable gut feeling that you're not sure, but you're like, this doesn't feel right with this person. I don't want to work with this person, or it just doesn't feel right. And I just think people a lot of times don't. They don't heed those warnings, and that's just what I'm saying, to urge people to do and have those uncomfortable conversations.
Well, I think that's the key.
That's the truth, to get to the answer, because again, you don't know what someone else is really thinking. You might think that you do, but you only know how what they're doing is making you feel.
Exactly. And even if I feel totally good, every now and then I want to do like a sound check. Hey, folks, thank you for the compliment, but I'd rather part my hair on the right side and not the left side today. And if that's a major discussion, maybe there are some issues. But as long as I say thank you very much and then accommodate, it's
absolutely. Like I say, people can share their opinions, but it's thank you very much for caring to share with me. But then you decide on your own what you want to do. I mean, again, it's self-determination. It's believing in yourself and having the confidence to make those decisions for yourself, really. Okay. And you can ask for people's opinion if you want them. And if they come unsolicited, thank you for caring enough to share. But I respectfully decline,
Now, as a guy, I'm going to flip on the other side of that. When my wife will come to me and ask me, does this dress make me look fat? That to me is a trick question.
That is
So,
that is a little tricky. We know, we know. Just say yeah, no, 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 no. Just, again, that's protecting yourself. You're making a wise decision by saying just no way, no, you look great. I mean, that's yeah.
right, but I think we could agree that the challenge of that yellow alert, it can be nebulous or a sliding scale at times, if I'm hearing you correctly. But I do think on the mindfulness side, if I'm hearing you correctly, Lizzy, that be somewhat proactive rather than say thank you, thank you, thank you, however great it may be. Sometimes I ask, why do you like it that way? Sometimes I might test it. No, I'd rather wear it something differently today to just see where it may or may not go. That's kind of my technique to double check where that person is. And more than that, I'll go along with it. And I've been lucky. I have a woman that's been very good for me. But it can be a challenge, I think, to be mindfulness or mindful in that direction. Yes.
It is challenging, yeah. But again, it's people just it's what are you pretending not to know? What are you pretending not to address? What are you in the bigger scheme of things, not just about clothing, but like what are you procrastinating on? Again, like saying, like maybe with regards to these people who are gaining weight over this time, like what are you what are you not addressing? So it's, again, being mindful is addressing things as they arise in the moment, and figuring out what actually is happening. And sometimes you don't know unless you do ask the other person. Like, you might be having this feeling because that person reminds you of somebody who treated you badly in your past, and it might be nothing about the person that you're actually in the room with. So it's again it's not what that person said. It's what did we say to ourselves after that.
You could be overreacting as opposed to underreacting.
Right.
And maybe that's a topic also down the road.
Bonding rather than reacting, which, yeah, we've talked about. Right. Yeah. But again, if we're receiving comments and feedback from someone about how we're behaving or what we're saying or what we're doing, that's also information. So maybe you're doing something that just isn't working. So be open to that too. That's also being mindful. That's how you grow, again.
I hear you folks, we're a little bit over curfew by 2 minutes worth. Okay. Thank you very much for the final words on that. And we want your feedback for the same reasons. Thank you very much.
Yeah, share with us this week, something that maybe you chose to deal with as a yellow alert, and how you came out of that, and share those stories. We would love to hear that.
Happy birthday, Lizzy.
Thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate you.